was not what I expected at all. It had crossed the friend zone. One thing led to another, and yes, okay, soon then the kiss happened. Okay, so this is the love story of Richard and I. I haven't scripted this. This is very, very near to my heart because it's very vulnerable. I remember the first time that I met Richard. It was at Lembuade, which is where a bunch of my friends live. He was coming there to do some music video recording. He had this confidence, this aura about him, almost verging on a cocky ego, which usually I'm not at all attracted to, but there was something about him where I just had this feeling that we were going to be good friends. This was someone who I wanted to be around. I was attracted to him as in like drawn to him, but I didn't feel like this was, you know, a guy that I wanted to pursue. And this was years ago. I was always traveling, coming back to Gili. He's a musician and I'm a video creator. We would collaborate, making little fun, casual music videos. We went together really well in that creative sense.
You used to film, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Richard was very clearly friend-zoned to me. He was a heavy drinker. I was completely sober. So him in that party lifestyle and me in the phase of my life where I'm on a road to recovery and really good health, and that being a really big value of mine, we were in very different places at that time. Actually, there was one time, I forgot about this story. It must have been shortly after we'd met, and on the way back from some summer reggae bar, and he was absolutely shit-faced. He was really drunk, and we both happened to be eating at the same late night food place on the way back to our separate accommodations. And so we were just chatting, and he was so drunk, he's just like, yeah. And tried to ask me if I wanted to come back to his place. 3 o'clock in the morning, completely shit-faced. What does that mean? I don't think we're going to be doing anything constructive in that moment. So I was like, no thanks, I'll see you another time. Completely rejected him. And that was the first and last time that he ever tried anything, and we were strictly friends from that moment on. And you know what, I don't think that he even remembers that because he was so drunk, and his lifestyle, he probably did that kind of thing all the time and it meant nothing to him. So I didn't take anything of it and just continued being completely normal friends, and there was never any like weirdness or flirting or anything like that. So our friendship strengthened from the time when I first stayed in accommodation that belonged to one of our mutual friends, and he was actually living in one of the rooms there at the time. We were housemates. So of course, every morning getting up, having coffee, you know, cooking lunches and spending more time together than I was before when it was just part of the big group.
So what you making now?
Got some tempe goreng,
Tempe.
some telur, pakai chili garlic,
Oh,
and onion.
wow, that's good.
So during that time, we were having deeper conversations, we're getting to know each other outside of that socialization, performance type of energy that you have when you're in a group of people. It was more like one-on-one intimate conversations. And I started to realize that this man has such a beautiful heart, and I don't think that he was really seeing himself in that way, and perhaps that's why he was drinking so much and having that big crazy party lifestyle to compensate for that, because I definitely experienced that as well back when I was a heavy drinker, and I've done a lot of work since then to overcome that and to really truly understand myself and value myself. So zero judgment, because we're just friends. We weren't looking to kind of find someone who we wanted to be with. So I think that having that really pure friendship for quite a number of years is what enabled us to see each other without that facade that you tend to put on for people when you're trying to impress them. When I arrived back after the pandemic, I went to Lembuade to hang out with my friends. Richard was there, and he was telling me about how they're doing the Gili Reggae Festival and how they needed a videographer. And I was just like, ding, I'm your angel sent from heaven because I have this camera here and I'm excited, let's do it. Kind of joking, but also kind of just like, you know, serendipitous, this was meant to happen. So from that point, almost every day we're making content and going to Gili organizing. And it was during this time in Gili where we started to have some feelings together. I remember there was this one day where we'd gone to the mainland of Lombok. It was actually a funny day because there was a flat tire and all these random unexpected things occurred, but we're on our way back to Gili. It was a rainy day and the boats to Gili were still quite few and far between, and we just kind of physically got a little bit closer when we were waiting there. You get those little feelings like, oh, what is happening? Am I just being like in a real flirty mood? Oh, I got butterflies now just thinking about it. And then that afternoon we were in the accommodation. We had separate rooms. I was very clear to Agung, who owns Raja, where the festival is. I was very clear to him, we are just friends, because he'd originally put us sharing a room just because we were close friends, bule, party lifestyle. They thought, you know, that we must just be sharing a room. And so I was in my room working on my laptop on Richard's YouTube channel because he'd asked me, can I help him to get his channel monetized? He came and lay next to me and we're, you know, still a space apart, looking at the laptop, just working together like, and this was kind of normal for us, but because of what had just happened when we were on the way back to Gili, there was obviously that little bit of extra energy in the air. And he just suddenly went, whoosh, and just kissed me. And I pulled back and I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, I don't know. And I, of course, straight away was in overthinking mode because I'm like, this is one of my mates and I don't want to fuck up this friendship and make anything awkward because I really adored and valued our friendship. And so I was like, do you like me or are you just bored? Is this just because it's raining and there's nothing else to do outside? Like, what is this? And he just goes, yeah, I think just because it's raining. And I was like, and I just thought for a second and I was like, yeah, okay, why not? It was not what anybody expected. It was not what I expected at all. So of course it wasn't what my friends expected either. And I told them, I was like, oh, yes, who I kissed. And they were just like, no, really? Like shocked and not really very encouraging, to be honest. Because they saw him from a different light, from that outside facade. Like he was quite a, you know, kind of like a bit of a womanizer, like a bit of a show off. But because of how we had spent all that one-on-one time together over the years, and then especially in that very recent time, I could see straight through it. I could see it was all bullshit. And there was a beautiful man inside there with a really big heart. That was definitely the start of a very slow progression towards our relationship. So how do we get from that awkward first kiss into a relationship? Well, that's a whole nother video in itself, and I'll bring him into the studio to help tell that story. So hit subscribe and I'll see you again soon.